What's up, bitches? I'm Egson Ham, and today you are going to learn about playing with the difference between masculine and feminine movement. Let's get to it. So, I've been teaching Boylesque classes at Maison Burlesque for the past about 5 or so years, and we have people of all genders that want to come and join in and explore moving in a masculine kind of way. So I thought we could use today to break down some of the preconceived ideas that some people have and show how we can use masculinity in movement. It's not something that's always talked about, so some people can feel a bit insecure about this. The main thing that I want to bring up is that some people feel like that to learn how to move like a man and explore masculinity and movement, you have to go to a masculine class. But that never even existed when I was learning how to move. I went to dance classes where I was the only boy in the room, including the teacher, but I was still able to do what they did and make it suit my body or suit my style that I was trying to push. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to explore how we can take the exact same phrase and make it look feminine or masculine. So let's get started and talk about that. The basis of what we're going to be exploring, we could take this all the way back and let's approach this from a really basic, standard evolutionary concept of the cave person. So if you were cave person gazillion years ago, let's say if you were a female person back then, what we'd want to be showing off to our mates are our wide birthing hips. We want to show that we are good mothers, that we can nourish a child. So I like to think of that while we're dancing as that's what we would want to be showing off. These big wide hips and big curves as we dance, as well as big open chest, pushing that so they can see our big hips. Look at what a good mother I would be to our children. And then long hair would be flowing as we're picking up, gathering seeds and fruits for our families. In the same way, a masculine person want to show off that they can hunt with their big, beefy, strong arms, and we're going to lead with our shoulders. We are confident men that could fight off potential predators and make ourselves big through our chest. And we have no purpose for showing off our birthing hips, but we do want to show that we're going to keep our loved ones satisfied. So we're going to lead with all of this. We can lead with a big open chest, big strong arms, and even open up the hips to show this is what you get from me, this hunky, beefy cave person. So let's take some of this and let's put it into a routine and see how we can play around with this kind of concept. I'm going to teach you a really basic phrase. And let's say this is a showgirls class, and here's what our footwork and our dance is going to be. We're going to step forward, cross, point, cross, point, cross, point, cross, point. Then we're going to do 4 hips. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really basic, and the hands are just going to be freestyle for now. So let's try that together. We're just going step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, hip, 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 hip. I chose these steps because this is pretty basic what you would see in a showgirl class or a burlesque class. In the same way, we're going to grind as we go around 90 degrees, and we're going to grind 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just to finish it, let's take a big slide backwards. Slide, and then we're just going to do your own poses. 1, 2, whatever pose you want. Let's put all that together. So we're just going step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, hips for 4, 2, 3, 4. Then grind, 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 and slide, and pose, pose. Cool. If I wanted to approach this in a feminine kind of way, I would be thinking about articulating through the hips, and we're going to articulate through the feet and show off the hips in any way that we can. We're going to, as we take our hips, sorry, let's try that again. Yeah. Cool. If I was to approach this exact choreography in a feminine kind of way, as we take our steps, I would want to articulate the feet and show how dainty I am through my feet. I'm just a little girl, I need protection. And then through the hips, we're going to show off our big, wide, birthing hips that we've got. And then the hands are going to be graceful and pleasant to look at, whatever your shapes are going to be. So let's take that and let's just try that in a feminine way. No matter what your goal is, let's just try this together. We're going to take all of these ideas and move in a feminine kind of way. So we're going to step 1, tap, 1, tap, 1, tap, 1, tap the arms or whatever you want. And the same thing for the hips. We want to push these hips out and show how wide we've got. We're going to lead with those hips and make them big and around. Same thing as we go around. Let's show off all these hips all the way around. And then we're going to slide back. Graceful positions. And finish. Let's try that with music. Really trying to accentuate your hips, showing off your chest, and showing off all the grace in the world. Let's try that with music, just for fun. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Go up, 1, 5. Hands, finished. Stunning! Wow, what great showgirl boys you are. Well done. Cool. Now we're going to take the exact same concept. So this should all be familiar because we see showgirls dance like this all of the time. Now we're going to take the same kind of evolutionary concept and flip it and show how we can make it masculine. So we're going to get rid of all of these hips that we had earlier. And I would think more about striking the feet as opposed to dainty showgirl legs. So through the feet, we can make it have a bit more presence and a bit more grounded into the ground. So we're going step, ta, step, ta, step, ta, step, ta. Let's get into the earth, men of the earth. And no more hips as we step. Keep that all square. You can even think leading with your hips. If your character, your stage persona is going to be more sexual, we can lead with the hips to make that more sexual. Or if you want to show confidence, let's come up the body. We're going to show off your chest and lead that way. With your arms now, we're wanting to show off the bis, the tris, the delts, the welts, the whatever muscle term you like. And we're going to have strong arms. I like to roll my shoulders back. So we've got an open chest and you can see all these rippling muscles as we step. 1, ha, 2, ha, 3, ha, 4, ha. And if you wanted to add an arm, I would make sure that they're very sharp and deliberate. Yeah, we are not unsure. We can take care of a family. So let's do it together. 6, 7, then 1, ha, 2, ha, 3, ha, 4, ha. Then from here, this is a bit of a funny one because we're about to do hips And we've just talked about how we don't like to show off our hips as dudes. But I would argue that we do like to show off our hips because that's where a lot of that's where a lot of our grinding, where our lovemaking is going to come from. So I don't think we need to be as scared of our hips as we usually are when it comes to masculinity and movement. That being said, instead of showing off the wide birthing hips, I would change that up and think more about having presence. And what we can do is lean side to side, shift our weight to each side, and kind of also be showing off your shoulders and your chest as we do it. So instead of keeping your weight center and showing off the hips, we're going to shift our weight. And so it's still the same movement, but it's much more masculine. We can also think about the BDE, big dick energy, as you do it. And it's like you're waving that in someone's face, which if the audience member is that high, might genuinely be the case. So these are some things that you can think about. We've taken this very feminine movement and made it much more masculine. Same thing, as we're grinding around, instead of showing off these curves from the back, I would like to think that we're going to lead from here as we're grinding around. And now we're making it really strong, tough, and masculine. So let's try that. We're going to grind around and think about leading from the front of the pelvis. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're feeling it, you can also shift your weight and get a bit more in people's faces as well. Then we're just going to do the slide back. Nothing wrong with that. And now we're going to strike into 2 strong poses. How much of a presence you are, how much you can fight off any predators that get in your way and satisfy anyone that gets into your bed. So let's take that whole thing and let's try that with music. All right, let's get down. Let's make this one dirty. Here we go. Sit. Head around. And now we've just taken this same movement and we've turned it into a really rough, masculine kind of set. Now, just for lols, let's see what happens if we've just pushed it to a real extreme, dirty, masculine way. Let's take those principles. We might need to soften it a little bit, but we're going to take what we just did in a masculine way. Let's put it back with the showgirl track and see how we can play with it and make the exact same movement, the exact same class, the exact same routine, the exact same act, but now it's masculine. Let's give that a go. Here we go. Backwards. Still masculine, but we've softened off the edges. Maybe it's a bit more approachable now as opposed to some heavy club bangers, but we're still moving in a masculine way, even though we just classified it as this classy showgirl routine. So these are some ways we've taken very typically feminine showgirl movements and turned it into our own masculine style dancing. So give that a go next time that you're in a class and you want to play around with these concepts, and give it a go. You can do it too. Yeah. Yeah.